Okay, so this is MGF 1107, Mathematics for Liberal Arts 2. Some of you have had to put up with me before, some of you have not. So what I want to do today, not put too much on you, I want to go over what the course shell looks like if you haven't looked at it yet. And I want to go over what's expected of you in the syllabus and how everything will work. So we start with our course shell. Maybe we'll go back to here. Of course, you get e-learning. Well, we try to hit e-learning. Well, normally it will. I'm off to a good start today. So we get to the course shell. This is actually the online course shell, I believe, but they're all set up the same. And it's all in order. So we start out simply with this begin here. It includes an introduction, the syllabus, and if you're in class, in person, you don't have to do the attendance confirmation. I leave it in there because sometimes people register last minute and that gives them a chance to confirm their attendance, which is necessary if you, especially if you have financial aid, because if your attendance is not confirmed, they will probably delay your financial aid. So sometime tomorrow, go into Classmate, look on this, where this class is listed, and make sure down the bottom left it says confirm. If you're here today, your attendance will be confirmed by the end of the day. Now, here's the neat thing. There are 3 sections I'm teaching of this course. There's a course that's on campus, in classroom. There's a synchronous course that's online. And there's also just a regular online course. So what I've done, since I'm giving the lecture to you right now, I figured why not give it to everybody else. So this link here is a link to this lecture online using Zoom. 4 o'clock every Tuesday and Thursday. Those of you that are coming to class, if something happened and you can't make it, you can use that link. Your attendance will be confirmed or checked then, because I will be checking attendance every day. Another thing I have here is links to YouTube videos, and I use YouTube because they automatically close caption. So if you have hearing impairments and you miss something, these are pre-recorded lectures. They've come up with some new software in Canvas that I'm going to try to use to get every lecture with closed captioning. I'll see how it works out. But all the links are already here. Yeah, that's the right class. Next up, we basically have a series of chapters. Each chapter is set up the exact same way. You have what's called pre-lecture notes. They're basically the notes that I go over with examples on them that have not been worked. So in class, we'll go over the notes, we'll work the examples. Then there is the pre-recorded lecture again. Sorry, we're in the wrong classroom, but we'll move back there next time. Then you have the homework or the pre-recorded lecture. I figured I'd go ahead and give them to you. That'll give you another resource if you're having a problem with the work. Then you have the post-lecture notes, which are the notes with the work on them. And then you have your homework. Homework is set up fairly simply. Depending on the technology you have at home, you could download it to your computer, work it on your computer. You can print it out and then upload it after it's done. If you look, it has the due date of February 12th, as do The second and third chapter we'll cover. And then here, we'll have a study guide for exam 1. Now, those of you in class will not do exam 1 in class, or will do exam 1 in class, not online. As I said, this is the shell for the online class. So homework is due February 12th. That will be the day of our test will be the Thursday before then in class. You may have noted when I went into the homework, if something happens and you just cannot get it in time, you have until the end of April before you lose all credit. So we have a due date of the 12th, but if something comes up, that way you don't have to say, if you're a day or two behind on it, you have to email me and say, can I be a day or two late? Yes, you can. You can, as long as you get in by April 30th, because that's the end of the semester, you'll be okay. Preferably, you don't wait till the last minute, but so then we have our next chapter. We have a project here. This is on apportionment, which is a chapter we will cover. So we'll do this. Then we have 2 more chapters in that unit, then another test, and 3 more chapters and a test and a final exam, which is mandatory. And I can't remember offhand, we'll have to look at the syllabus, which will not be in this class. So that's the basic run of how the class works. Now, here's what I was talking about. There are 3 sections. The section of you that's inside the classroom is, I believe, 10-429. So that's on campus. And then 10-428 is synchronous online. This means you're supposed to attend these lectures online. So that's the class that's supposed to be online attending these lectures. And this class is this last one, 10-427, is asynchronous. The lectures are not mandatory. So that means you're welcome to be here, but you don't have to. So let's look at the syllabus. And I think I want to look at the in-class syllabus. So this is MGF 1107. The CRN is 10-429. Mathematics for Liberal Arts 2, isn't this? How to get in. I am Mr. Wojciechowski, and for every time you mispronounce my last name, I'm taking a point off your final grade. Just kidding. Mr. W, Professor W, Professor. I don't get offended by a mispronounced name. I've been dealing with it all my life, so it doesn't bother me. As long as it's not obscene or derogatory, I'm not too worried about it. So we will cover 9 topics in this class. The general mathematics course, cover problem solving. We have MGF 1101. You've already done that chapter, so you get to do it again. Voting theory, weighted voting, apportionment, fair division, graph theory, scheduling, fractals, and cryptography. We have here, hopefully what you'll learn. This meets the critical thinking. And again, why did I list that twice? Okay, the first bit of good news. Again, if you haven't taken one of these courses before, our textbook is called Math and Society. There's a link right there to it. It's free, open text. You can download the PDF if you want. You can actually buy it on Amazon. I got one several years ago for like $15. But you don't really need it, to be honest. And it says they have them on loan in the library. I'm not sure if they do for this one. As I mentioned earlier, homework assignments will be done in Canvas. There's one for every chapter. You upload your solutions to the Dropbox. Okay, this course, it says it's necessary, and I guess technically it is. There's some parts of it that require quite a bit of calculations, but there's nothing quite as involved as some of the stuff we did in MGF 1106. But a calculator would be very helpful. You are allowed to use it on exams. Nothing too fancy. Grading is simple. You have a project that's 15% of your grade. Your entire homework, all 9 of them added together, will be 15%. We have 3 tests that are 45%. Then we have the mandatory final exam that is 25% of your grade. I usually keep the test short, typically no more than 10 questions. The final exam will be 25 questions. Grading is standard grading. It says here, no makeup test. Those of you that have me before know that I kind of stretched that a little bit. If there's extenuating circumstances, we'll come up with a solution. I'm not going to leave you out in the cold. The other thing is, if you miss an exam and we can't figure out a way to make it up, for one exam and one exam only, I will replace your exam score with your final exam score. So if you miss test 2, we can't figure out a way to make it up. When you take your final, I'll give you that grade for your test 2 exam as well. Now, they told me this and I thought, that's not fair. All the people that show up and take all 3 tests, they kind of, well, it's just not fair to them. So what I do is your final exam, if it's better than your lowest test score, I will replace your lowest test score with your final exam. So if you blow test 2 and get a 70, and you get a 90 on the final, I'll replace the 70 with the 90 as well. Classroom rules are pretty standard. I know we all have cell phones. I don't think anybody has pagers anymore. Has anybody ever even seen a pager other than in a movie? I had one for a while. So please put them on vibrate. I'm not telling you to turn them off. I understand we have other obligations. So put it on vibrate. If you get a call, just quietly exit the room. And then when you're done with your call, quietly come back in. Or if you have to leave, quietly come in and get your stuff. And we'll go from there. Attendance, since this is general education, attendance will be taken in every class meeting. If you're going to miss class for some reason, please email me. If you need to ask me a question or contact me, the quickest way to get a hold of me is through email. And there's my email address again there. I know it's a long one, but now with attendance, if you show up every day at the end of the semester, after I calculate your final grade, replace your lowest test score with your final score. If you were here every day, you will get 3 points added to your final grade. So if you make that 89 here every day, the 92. Goes from B plus to an A minus. There is one caveat to that. If you have below a C, we don't do it. You have to have at least, well, a C minus is it. Likewise, one absence, you get 2 points, and 2 absence, you get 1. After that, no. It talks about tutoring and learning resources. You can look into it, but I don't believe there's any tutoring for this class. I haven't heard of it any time recently. They have tutoring for 1106, but I don't think they do for this course. I'm sure if you schedule somebody, they may be able to assist, and always contact me. I am willing to do Zoom meetings. As being an adjunct professor, I'm only here for this course and a 6 o'clock course on Tuesday and Thursday. And we can do something over Zoom if you need help, but I'll do whatever I can to help. Talking about financial aid, withdrawal policy, all standard stuff. Technology, you need a non-graphing calculator. Again, more stuff that's basically the same everywhere. You probably heard it a million times by now. I don't think we have to worry about hurricanes. Then we have this here. So for us in class, our final exam is Thursday, May 4th at 2:30 for some reason. Never understand why they changed it to 2:30. So if that's going to be an issue, you need to let me know as soon as possible. Typically, we get done early enough with our material that we cover that we have a day the week before the finals that we can do the test. So as we approach it, we'll see how things go. Now, this is not written in stone, just on a computer screen. I can change it fairly easily. If any changes occur, you will be told via email, possibly in class as well. Hopefully, if anything, we'll get ahead of schedule and not have any issues. Essentially, we're going to do a chapter a week. However, this week, all we're doing is a course introduction. So we'll get a little ahead of the game Thursday, and we'll start with the problem solving chapter. Looks like spring break is on the 13th of March this year, or that week. Please note, these dates are the beginning of the weekday, not a Tuesday or Thursday day. So essentially 3 chapters in an exam, 3 chapters in an exam, 3 chapters in an exam, projects and final exam. As I said, typically we finish the review this week here. So we'll have this whole week before finals if you want to take the final exam early, where we can meet at 4 o'clock and do it. Again, some more standard statements. My goal is to record every class, but if you want to record, you're more than welcome to. I don't have an issue with that. Sexual discrimination and harassment, again, that's standard. You'll see it on every syllabus you get. And I believe that is it. So, any questions on anything? Everybody's good? We all have calculators we can use? Because I think it's the apportionment chapter and the problem solving chapter that you're going to need them the most. And maybe the fair division. But most of the math in this course is not as complex as it was in the other course.
Is your homework in this class like the last class?
Yeah, online. It's online, it has due dates, but it has availability date of April 3rd.
Did we get a full grade?
Yes, Oh, yes, homework is graded upon completion, not correction. Typically, like I said, that February 12th due date, our first exam will be the Thursday before then, because those are Sunday dates. So the Tuesday before then, which would be what? The 7th, we will literally go over all the homework, because that's the study guide for the test. So once we do that and we go over all the homework, I will not be given any feedback on your homework. I'll just be giving grades. Because you'll have the answers. So you, I mean, but up until then, I try to give feedback when I can. A lot of it depends on where I'm at when I'm grading it. Any other questions? Anybody online have any questions? So it appears yes, as long as it doesn't, you don't have notes and stuff in it. Yes, that's fine. Let's see. Any other questions? Looks like we have quite a few people from the online class. Not the recording.